Hello, I'm Rob Very, the host of Triadvisors. This week is the first of a three-part series entitled Triadvisors Presents, and we'll be discussing three different parts about triads in general. First we'll discuss why triads, second we'll discuss how triads, and thirdly we'll discuss triads, tips and tricks. So let's get right to it. So in order to see why triads are so great, useful, and used so often in the tribal atmosphere, you first have to understand the stages of a tribe. Personally, for me to find out about that, I found the best way was not only to watch Dave Logan's TED Talk, but to read the book Tribal Leadership by Dave Logan, among others. And in doing so, I learned lots about the stages. So there are 5 stages that a tribe could be. Stage 1's basic idea is that life in general sucks. This is the atmosphere you typically see in prisons and stuff like, where people are locked up. And stage 2 is the general outlook that my life sucks. So, in other words, you see that other people have better lives than you, according to your own opinion, and your life is currently not living up to the standards that you'd like. Now, we move into the most common stage that people are at, that's stage 3, and essentially the general outlook of someone in stage 3 is that I'm great and you're not. And what that means is that they recognize their own abilities and skills. They recognize that that skill set that they have is better than lots of other people, but they fail to recognize the value in others. A better mindset to have would be that of stage 4, and in stage 4 the general outlook is, we're great. Now what it doesn't say specifically all the time when you hear about stage 4 is that it can be, we're great and you're not. So you might think that your group or organization is wonderful, you recognize the value of everybody there, but other organizations you might not recognize their values as highly. Now the best stage to be at, and the most productive stage of any tribe, would be that of stage 5. And the general outlook in stage 5 is that life is great. So pretty much everybody's great. Now, things like that don't happen too often. For instance, it happened with Desmond Tutu in South Africa, things like that. So you can really see how rare that would be and how great it could be if a tribe got to that level. Now, an important thing to remember about the stages is that each stage actually has different levels within it. It'll have an early, a mid, and a late. We say a lot of people are at stage 3, but what we really mean to say is a lot of people are at mid to late stage 3. And the great thing about that is that I believe a lot of people in at least the Pogo tribe are in that sort of region of stage 3, and what that means is that the triading process is going to work even better because you're ready, or almost ready, to move into stage 4. I'm not really going to go into it too much further regarding stages. You certainly can watch videos, and I recommend that you read the Tribal Leadership book. And in fact, coming up right now, I'm going to read a couple passages from the book to make you understand the differences between triads and dyads and why triads are better. Reading from Tribal Leadership, Chapter 10, page 185 into 186. Dyads, two-person relationships, are the structural hallmark of stage 3. People operating at I'm great tend to form a set of dyads so that if they have to tell lots of people the same thing, they'll have a series of one-on-one conversations. As a result, they hit several barriers. First, the person at the other end of the relationship often feels commoditized, valued only for her service or information. Second, the person forming the dyads feels he has never enough time or support, since the overhead maintenance required to keep a series of dyads together is enormous. Third, people are quick to spot inconsistencies in what the person says, as he tells slightly different versions of the same thing to others, which damages his credibility and reduces their loyalty to him. Hopefully you get the idea now of how a triad is typically better than a dyad. And I want you to keep in mind that triads don't just have to be groups of 3 people. They could be groups of 3 groups of people. Same with dyads. The main thing that they're stressing in the book is that they didn't just think of triads and how successful they could be. It's what they noticed when they were studying the different organizations that they used for the book. To read another quote from page 186, everything that works well about the stage 3 appears in stage 4, but in a reorganized fashion. In the same way that ego shifts from personal to tribal at stage 4, we don't see many dyads, but we see lots of triads. In closing, I'll just leave you with this thought and idea from the book that I'll read directly from page 204, and it reads, triads lead to a blurring of roles between client, service provider, friend, mentor, and coach. Once the triad is established, all the roles merge and morph, requiring each person to contribute to and receive contributions from the other two. I'm Rob, and remember, if at first you don't succeed, try it again.